Hello and welcome back, everyone, to Freelancer on Rocket Rabbit Commentaries, and in this episode, we're going to go rescue the President. Are we bad enough dudes to rescue the President, Mr. Cloud?
We're the baddest dudes in the galaxy, baby.
With our brand new ship, the Anubis.
Uploaded the coordinates to the jump hole. Trent, take the lead. King and I will follow you.
Look at how many guns we got, Mr. Cloud.
I'm hoping you can
Can we fire them all simultaneously?
Yes, we can.
Nice.
So, we're running a Wakizashi, a Pyros Type 2, 3 Death's Head Mark IIs, and an Advanced Stun Pulse.
See, in Star Wars, they had TIE fighters. In Freelancer, we have Tri-fighters.
To be perfectly honest, a lot of the fighter boats try and use triangles as their silhouette. Even the Star Tracker does it. Just it's upside down.
I can't wait to hear his story.
That every spacecraft, because of course we're talking about science fiction, which is based on science fact, that human beings have been able to pilot vehicles using so many pounds, tens of thousands of pounds of fuel, but also a ship that is aerodynamic in nature, shape, weight, and proportion, center of gravity, in order to leave Earth's atmosphere in the first place. So it has to be an airplane first, and then it is a space vessel.
The thing is, I'm pretty sure that the way that we design airplanes and the way that we would design spaceships are dramatically different from each other. So,
of course, because airplanes don't have to. Airplanes experience friction during flight. This is true. That's why you experience turbulence while you're flying. But spacecrafts, they have to endure more friction because they have to go through not just one atmosphere. They have to go through every atmosphere as they re-enter.
And they also have to deal with a boatload more heat.
Exactly.
All right. So the Anubis is our first very heavy fighter boat. We never actually went, and because it's our first very heavy fighter boat, it actually has a little bit. It's a little bit more difficult to pilot. Its turn speed is significantly slower than what we're used to, but as compensation, it does actually have slightly more efficient shield batteries and nanobots. Thing is, it doesn't actually you don't end up noticing how more efficient that they are, to be perfectly honest. They are slightly more efficient, but you don't notice it whilst you're playing around. So,
well, not being able to turn around on a dime, that leads me to believe that because we're not shooting stationary targets, that, for example, guy got away. Okay, now we right the cursor. Now we're back on top of him. So the time you save with the increase in damage and weapons payload efficiency is offset by just that. You have to take longer to find your target.
Well, to be more accurate, you have to be a better pilot, especially at this point in the game.
You take point. We're headed to Buffalo, a heavily fortified rogue base.
Buffalo soldier, flying through outer space, going to the big base. Gonna have some chicken wings.
We have successfully returned to Liberty, and unfortunately, as Annotations Gradette mentioned, there's a weapon upgrade in here that I want that I can't fucking get. I want to get the level 6 version of the Stun Pulse, the Debilitator, but I can't get it because, well, it's a civilian weapon, and because we are, fighting against the Liberty Navy, all of the Liberty military and aligned factions, like the Liberty civilian cast, would be openly hostile to us on sight.
So get it if you can?
No. Very explicitly, in order to go get a Debilitator right now, I think we would have to go all the way back to Kasari space and figure out if there are civilian bases in there that we can get it from.
Captain Walker is waiting for you inside.
I guess we'll just have to settle for what we have.
Pick up some ammo and equipment. I have a feeling we'll need it to get through this one.
We will, Miss Junie. Thank you.
After that, your request to dock is granted. Please proceed to dock 1.
Proceeding.
It was a dark and stormy night.
Trent Edison made himself very comfortable in the Buffalo base, avoiding all of the space rocks.
The lighting engine is illuminating in strobe effects, even the hull of my spacecraft.
Walker, you son of a... I thought you were dead.
So did I. Trent!
Hey, Walker.
Dylan, you son of a beach.
I'm impressed. It's the only one worth fighting for now. I hear you've got a line on the president. Indeed we do, but we'll have to hurry.
Come on, let's get to work.
Can we buy our batteries first, please? It's nice to see you again, Walker, but we need to get our batteries recharged.
I have a message which I would like for you to send to Sergeant Cortez of the Anti-Time Splitters faction. We're gonna miss you.
The weapons that we have access to here very specifically are the Visago is honestly a relatively powerful 8.3 weapon from the Rogues. However, we'll never actually get into it because we very explicitly will never have enough a faction representation or with the Rogues to be able to buy it. And I forgot to buy shield batteries again. Dang it.
Freelancer Alpha 1-1. This is Buffalo. You are cleared for launch. Good luck out there.
Trent, good. We just
It's good I
received
got to sit
message
down
from
for a
Aurelian
second.
with new orders.
Now I'm going to be on my feet for the rest of this
Rejoin
mission.
my attack group on the far side of the Badlands. I'm sorry that I can't come with you now, but we'll meet you as planned at Zone 21.
Really? We can't have
We'll
Walker
see you
come
at
with
the
us?
rendezvous.
Dang it.
Trent, take point.
Man piloting ship.
There's a jump hole nearby that'll get us very close to our target.
What's the target?
A new specialized satellite that the Navy deployed
Ow.
recently. Our sources say it's designed to detect cloaked ships. Like the Osiris. If we take out the satellite, Aurelian and the Osiris could operate in this system without being detected.
Which would be very beneficial for us since we're using the Osiris as our primary base. Yeah, this is something that I think that I really wish that we had the ability to do, like use a rogue freighter in order to shift the satellite into the space that we control. You know, would
I guess the story goes a little differently.
Would have been nice to would have been nice to salvage this kind of tech and use it to increase our overall power in the system, if you will. All right. Yeah. See, if you'll notice now, the trade lanes specifically, even themselves, are in fact hostile to us. So yeah, if we were to attempt to go to any of the Liberty civilian planets, we would end up, getting shot down almost immediately.
Jeez.
My scanner's picking up the satellite.
Be careful of those
I'm not detecting any
autosaves.
ships. Could be a trap.
Judy, I'm reading multiple weapons platforms directly next to the satellite.
So, have you ever had a save file ruined because you strayed too far, but you saved too near that point?
Not in Freelancer. I know of that instance happening specifically in Wolfenstein 3D. One of the later versions of Wolfenstein 3D has a hard lock where if you or what is more or less actually a soft lock, where if you save while a death trap is active, you are usually unable to get out of that death trap.
So don't save the game while you're dying.
Yeah, don't save the game while you have triggered a death trap, rather, because we are getting beat the fuck out of it. We already spent all of our shield batteries, but thankfully we did manage to destroy the satellite.
You cannot wait while there are enemies nearby. However, traps are not considered enemies, so there. I'm thinking now of some of the enemies from Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, the creations of the X-Nauts, which are some derpy-looking derp eyeball enemies that will create copies of themselves and also hit you with psionic energy.
Now, psionic is a damage type in Paper Mario.
Well, I mean, it's a oh, here comes the blippity bloop. Hit the button on time and take less damage.
No, but that's an action command, though, not necessarily a psionic attack.
No, Mario is doing the action command. And the action command is designed to help you either minimize or eliminate damage, because if you do a perfect block, then you take no damage. Yeah. When turn-based combat meets live-action sweetness.
That's what Club 33. That's what Expedition 33 is about, at least. Oh, look, we spent all of our nanobots too.
We're out of nanobots. There's so many X's and Y's and Z's all around us. Jeremy Chapman.
So yeah, because I'm not anywhere near as good a pilot as I'm supposed to be, a lot of the missions from this point forward are going to be me, being effectively unable to keep my health and shields topped off.
It takes you longer to kill your enemies.
About Alaska. It's not on any of the star charts. All I've ever heard were rumors.
Me too.
So now we are attempting to make it over to the Alaska system.
The heart of Zone 21. It leads to Alaska. Everything else is rumor.
Welcome to Alaska. Here's $1,000.
Constructing a secret fleet there. I guess we'll see with our own eyes soon.
Walker, are you there? We're on our way.
Acknowledged. We're already at the rendezvous point.
Perfect. It's good to be flying with you again, Walker.
Yes, it is.
Thank you, Junko. A lot has happened since you left Liberty. The democracy we once served is now a bloodthirsty military dictatorship.
Yeah, that happened like in a
We're
span of
forced to
about
leave
2
the central
weeks.
systems.
Maybe less, because the amount of time that we spent in Kusari and Bretonia isn't really well defined.
These are strange times.
True.
We find, as the ancient Greeks tell us, that tyranny naturally arises from democracy, because democracy sets the conditions for unscrupulous persons and fearmongers to take command, not just of the government, but of the entire state.
So anything new happening in the world of Cloud as we attempt to make it over to the jump gate to Alaska?
Well, I am looking forward to upgrading my game system at some point. I'll not go into the details as to why, but I'm feeling Nintendo, but it's a feeling, kind of like an inkling.
Given all the bad press that Nintendo is going through at the moment, I'm kind of surprised that you would still be interested in that. Anyway, in the next episode, we will make it to the Alaska system.
Protect the jump gate at all cost.
Be safe, everybody.
Forget me not.